They called him Valar Kesh on 1,000 Worlds, though no one ever said the name out loud. Names were dangerous things in the profession of sanctioned death. Names could be traced, remembered, whispered into databanks that never forgot. To most of the galaxy, he was simply the black probability, the statistical anomaly that followed political upheaval, collapsed regimes, and sudden funerals of people who were supposed to be untouchable. Valar was the best assassin humanity had ever produced, and that was saying something in a civilization that had turned optimization into an art form. He lay motionless on the upper spire of the Rylothian Council Tower, carbon fiber cloak hugging his frame, rifle fused seamlessly with his neural interface. Wind speeds, gravity fluctuations, atmospheric density, and the micro-vibrations of the tower itself scrolled effortlessly through his mind. His breathing was slow, controlled, almost meditative. He had waited longer than this for less important kills. Below him, framed perfectly in the scope, stood Counselor Threx Valuan. Threx was not human. He was Rylothian, tall, crested, with iridescent skin that shifted color depending on emotional state. Right now, his skin shimmered gold, a public display of confidence as he addressed a crowd of diplomats, traders, and journalists from a dozen species. Behind him, banners declared the success of the Unity Accords, the treaty that would formally exclude humanity from interstellar trade routes for the next century. The contract was clear. Threx Valuan had engineered the economic strangulation of Earth's colonies. Billions would suffer. Millions would die. The Council had labeled it necessary realignment. Human intelligence called it genocide by bureaucracy. Valar's finger rested lightly on the trigger. The rifle was already aligned. The shot was perfect. 0.003 seconds of travel time, negligible wind correction, entry through the ocular ridge, instant neural shutdown. No pain. No sound louder than a snapped twig. The probability of success was 99.9987%. In his mind, the firing solution glowed green. Yet, Valar did not fire. Instead, a memory surfaced. Uninvited, unwelcome. Earth. Small kitchen. His mother humming softly as she prepared nutrient paste flavored with real spices she couldn't afford. His father reading casualty lists from the Outer Belt riots, jaw clenched. Valar, barely 10 years old, asking why humans always seem to lose. Because, his father had said quietly, we don't scare them enough yet. Valar blinked once, the only movement he allowed himself. His neural implant flagged the hesitation, but did not override him. This was his mission. His choice. Instead of pulling the trigger, Valar opened a private channel. Package is in position, he transmitted calmly. Requesting authorization for Phase 2. There was a pause, an eternity in combat terms. Phase 2 is not approved, came the clipped voice of his handler. Eliminate the target. Valar watched Threx gesture expansively, speaking about peace and cooperation. The crowd applauded. No, Valar said. Trust me. Another pause. This one heavier. You have 60 seconds. Valar smiled faintly. No one could see it. He lowered the rifle. In its place, he activated the secondary system, one humanity had never officially admitted to creating. A tight-beam quantum broadcaster hummed softly as it powered up. The rifle dissolved into a compact node, unfolding like liquid metal. Valar stood. Gasps rippled through the crowd as a human figure appeared on the spire edge, silhouetted against the sky. Security forces froze, confused. No alarms had triggered. No threat signatures detected. Threx Valuan turned, his crest flushing an irritated crimson. What is the meaning of this? Vaylor's voice, amplified and translated flawlessly into every known language, carried across the plaza. "My name is Vaylor Kesh," he said. "I am the man you paid 7 fortunes to ensure would never exist." The crowd erupted into chaos. Guards raised weapons. Vaylor did not move. "For decades," he continued, "you have believed humans were dangerous because of our aggression, wars, our resilience. You were wrong." He activated the broadcaster. Across the galaxy, in council chambers, military hubs, corporate arcologies, and hidden black sites, screens flickered to life. Firewalls failed. Encryption collapsed. Humanity's greatest secret, its greatest weapon, unfolded in raw data streams. Vaylor spoke as it happened. "You fear our soldiers. You fear our fleets. But what you should fear is our transparency." Data poured out. Classified treaties exposing corruption, proof of resource hoarding, recorded conversations of counselors discussing the slow extinction of entire species for profit. Numbers. Irrefutable. Threx staggered back, his skin cycling wildly through panic hues. "Shut this down," he screamed. Vaylor ignored him. "For centuries you controlled the narrative. You decided who was civilized enough to matter. Humanity learned something different." He stepped forward, boots echoing. "We learned that the deadliest weapon is not a bullet. It is truth, delivered without mercy." Security finally opened fire. Vaylor didn't flinch. A translucent field snapped into place around him, personal shielding tuned to absurd tolerances. Human engineering perfected through generations of fighting enemies stronger than themselves. The broadcast continued. Markets crashed within minutes. Protests erupted within seconds. Allied species, long suppressed, saw their chance and took it. Fleets that had quietly resented council dominance began to move, not against Earth, but toward Rylothian space. Threx collapsed to his knees. "You could have killed me," he hissed. Vaylor deactivated the shield and knelt so they were eye level. "I could have," he agreed. "But that would have made you a martyr." He stood, turning back to the stunned crowd. "Instead," he said, "you will live. You will stand trial. And every being in this galaxy will know exactly what you did." Within hours, the Unity Accords were nullified. Within days, the Interstellar Council dissolved itself to avoid violent overthrow. Within weeks, humanity was no longer excluded, but invited cautiously into rebuilding a system that had fed on silence. Vaylor disappeared as he always did. Some said he retired. Others claimed he was still out there watching. But among humanity, the story was told differently. They said the deadliest assassin in history once had a perfect shot. And he proved in that moment why humans were the most terrifying species in the galaxy. Not because they killed so well, but because, when given absolute power, they chose something far worse for their enemies. They chose justice,